Okay, can you tell about yourself and your current project and current roles and responsibilities?
So, myself, Dharna, I'm working as a senior software developer in Wipro. I have around like 5 years of experience. And the projects I have total which I've worked on will be three. And the current project which I'm working on is for the airline domains. We are handling like the CRs and it is basically for the cargo thing. The technologies which we are working on is Java Spring Boot microservices. And for the certification side, I have done AI 100, aiming for AI 100. I'm not sure. It's
What certifications you have done?
AI 900.
Okay. What is your roles and
It is
responsibilities?
in Azure and
Yeah, I
and
know
for
that.
fundamental.
Yeah, I know that. What are your roles and responsibilities?
The roles will be like designing, developing, or like maintaining our Java application by writing the code or like find the bug to troubleshoot the issues, all these things.
Okay. So front end, what technology you have worked on?
Frontend, I have used React basically.
Okay. So take an example, your application heavily relies on asynchronous data from multiple API endpoints. Okay. You need to effectively handle multiple requests concurrently. Okay. So how do we implement this to get the real-time data into the UI with multiple APIs endpoints?
Like basically, from the Java side, we can use like maybe we can use like Spring Web Flux or the
No,
API.
Java side, no need, only front-end side. So there are multiple 100 APIs are there. You need to get the all the API data and you need to combine and you need to show all the real-time data into the UI.
We can use promise.all. It will just send the multiple API requests concurrently.
Okay. What about showing in the UI in real time?
For that, we can use maybe WebSocket or something that we can use.
Okay. So your team is working on an React application experiencing performance issues. Okay. Particularly with slow initial load times and sluggish component rendering. What you have identified that large reusable components are being lazily loaded. Okay. There are many unnecessary change detections occurring. How do you fix this?
Okay, we can optimize, like maybe we can use lazy loading, React.lazy, so that the components are for the initial kind of thing.
So we are already
Or if
using
we are
lazy loading only.
and if you want to like prevent unnecessary, then we can use like memo,
Use memo.
React.memo.
Okay. What is the use of React memo?
React.memo basically it will just prevent the unnecessary re-renders.
Okay. What about change detection?
Change.
Change detection, like if you are doing unnecessary, so there are many unnecessary change detections occurring. How do you fix that?
For that, we can use callback functions or like some class components we can implement.
Okay. So you are tasked with creating a library of reusable React components and services can be shared across multiple projects within your organization. How do you create an reusable Angular library? Sorry, React library. You need to create a library that can be reused across all the organization projects within the organization. You have to create a library such as so that it can be used in your current project as well as in other projects also. How do you create that library?
Okay, for that basically, we can use the hooks for like with the clay. We can specify the APIs like clearly, and that only like we can just distribute, create like the files which can be distributed or like be used in multiple places.
Okay.
And we can publish the library and we can share it with like multiple things.
Okay, right. So you are working on a financial application where certain sensitive data needs to be accessed only by authorized roles. How do you implement the role-based access control in the database to ensure secure data access?
For first of all, we can define the roles and permission clearly based upon the requirements. Like the admin will have this and the another will have that. We can create like database roles as well, like the views on the tables and like some stored procedures we can create so that the we can restrict the direct table exposure data should want to be there, and we can implement like some security kind of thing like
Okay,
these things can be done.
okay. Can you share your screen?
Sure.
So we'll be having a coding question. Okay, I will give that coding question. You have to write a program in the online compiler and you need to place it into the queue.
Open.
Yes. So you need to create a custom collector in Java to I have shared in the chat. You can go through. If you have any questions, let me know.
Just give me a second.
Hello.
Just let me know if you're able to see my screen or not. Hello?
Huh? Yeah.
Hello? You there?
Got the question?
Hello, you there?
Yeah, you got the question?
Yeah, I saw the question.
Okay, you can share your screen and start writing the program. Once it is done, let me know.
Okay, just let me know once you're able to see my screen or not.
Able to see. I think you have shared full screen or only window.
I shared that window.
Okay, share your full screen.
Okay, just you're still there or like what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Just let me know.
I'm able to see. Oh, you can start. I'll be on mute. Once done, let me know. Okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. the customer to correct the message to mark for each case. So, then also, what do you know? Like, it's a mistake to make. What's the shoulder is. Showing restricting lines. So, Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, right?
Yeah. Able to hear.
I-
So what is the output?
The key and the list of words based upon the length, as you said.
Okay. That is fine. Can you paste this code in the code editor?
Huh?
Can you paste that code in the code editor? I have enabled the code editor.
Where is the coordinator?
I just now enabled.
This one, huh? Needs to select any language or like what?
Java 8
Done.
select.
Done. Pasted. Now,
Yeah, that is fine. Can you create a custom hook in React? Or can you write a code for it?
the same thing or like what?
Same thing mean
Main one.
React in React.
The notepad only. Notepad.
Yeah, you can use TypeScript. Here we have an option, right? JavaScript or TypeScript. Here we have, I think TypeScript, JavaScript is there, right? Here below in the online compiler only. There you can use that. Come down, still down. Yeah, that one. Above that one. Above one. That is TypeScript.
JavaScript. But any custom hook, right?
Yes.
Is it fine or like hello?
Yeah. Let me see. So what is the use of this? You are reading.
Basically, it will. No?
Yeah, yeah. Proceed.
It is kind of a toggle thing only. Like it will return the boolean value of the toggles.
Okay. Yeah, that is when. Can you copy paste this? I will enable one more code editor. Can you copy paste there? Just a sec. Wait for a minute. I have enabled just now. Just a sec. It will come out. Yeah, paste it here. Okay, so you are working on a Java-based web application where users frequently search a large database table containing millions of records. Okay, the search functionality is getting slower as the dataset grows. So as you are a full stack developer, how would you optimize the SQL queries to enhance the performance without compromising the data integrity?
So for that, we can, in order to like optimize SQL queries, we can make use of indexing or optimization, maybe pagination. All these things can be used. Like caching also we can implement, like so that the database level, the data will be accessed like more fast or like frequently.
No, that is for retrieving. So this is for
Indexing is there, right? We can create the proper indexes on the column side, so that the join and all these this will be lookup. The speed will be fast for the lookups. Or we can optimize our queries or pagination also. We can like limit and offset. We can implement. All these things can be done. Or maybe like connection pooling also, like in order to reduce the overheads.
Mhm. So your team is planning to migrate existing database from a legacy system to modern RDBMS. Okay. The database contains very large volume of data and downtime needs to be minimized. Okay. So we need to migrate the data also with it contains millions of records. Okay. How would you approach this data migration process?
We first of all we have to like check the like assess and we have to do the planning. Then we need to specify like, the strategy so that the zero downtime should be there. These things can be done, and then we can specify like the validation, all like implement the data validation and stuff that we can make use of like the database migration tools we have, like maybe Oracle or something, AWS kind of things we have. Then we can write the queries and like so that old and the both should be in sync and when the transaction phase is there. Then we can do testing and then backup and monitoring the tool.
How do you transfer data?
Huh?
The millions of records we have, right? How do you transfer the data to the new RDBMS?
We can migrate the data in some batches or like maybe chunks of data, like some batch processing we can do, or so that in small chunks the data will be transferred, so that the overhead like it won't be overwhelming to the system as well.
Okay. So you need to process a large data set in Java application efficiently without running into memory issues. Describe how would you handle this scenario?
You have to process large set in Java application without memory issue.
Like take an example, 1 million records are there. You want to process this data using your Java application, okay, without running into any memory issues. How do you do that?
So first of all, in if we don't want memory issue, we should avoid storing the data in a memory. Then we can make use of streaming APIs. And again, as I earlier told, we can make use of the batches. Uh, the garbage collection will do its work, and we can optimize our data structure so that the memory issues will be minimum.
Okay. So how to optimize the performance of some Java application?
How to optimize the performance of a Java application.
Hmm.
Again, we can make use of garbage collection, and like data structure algorithm should be proper, like memory management should be minimized. We can so that the memory leaks will be minimum. Concurrency, like optimization on the database side, all these things can be done.
Okay. So you are developing a real-time trading platform where multiple threads are executing trades concurrently. Okay. So you need to ensure that order processing maintains the data consistency and integrity. How would you manage thread synchronization and avoid common concurrency issues such as deadlocks and race conditions in this scenario?
Okay, so basically, we can make use of like concurrency. Like we have some. In order to avoid the logs, we can just prevent the nested logs so that we can use the timeouts for our logs so that the logging scenarios won't be there. And we can make use of synchronization.
Okay, any other things?
Uh, we can make use of queues also, like so that the trade request will be managed or like will be in a controlled manner. These
Okay.
things can be done.
Okay. So your application requires a custom authentication mechanism to accommodate unique user verification process. How would you implement this using Spring Boot application, and what considerations would you take into account for security and maintainability?
So for this, what first of all we can do is like we can make use of Spring Security. Then we can provide like authentication, like customer authentication. We can provide. We can make use of the filter chains or like some password handling, or we can also make use of token based authentication as well.
Okay. For custom authentication, how do you implement? How do you implement it?
We can implement using the authenticate method.
Authenticate method. Where authenticate method will be there in which class?
It is inside authentication provider. Interface is there. That will be there.
Yeah, right. So your project requires a separate environments for development, testing, and production. Describe how would you use Git branching strategies to manage code changes across these environments effectively.
So if you want like different, we can make use of the profilers or like some we can specify the different for those.
Yeah, how do you manage these branches or create branches?
Those can be managed maybe like as I told like maybe separate branches can be created. Exactly manage, I'm not sure what you want me to exactly like what you want me to tell it exactly.
So if you are developing for develop after that, how do you push to UAT fraud environments? See for specific see for development, you will be having separate properties. So how do you manage that? That is the question.
So we can make use of like profilers. Like for example, if we have different, we can specify the properties for like application.dev or like some broad level application properties file will be different. And using profilers, we can easily like maintain our different environments without minimal changes.
Okay. So you need to apply custom styles to a React component, ensuring styles do not leak to the other components. Explain how would you achieve this using React's built-in tools.
We can make use of like maybe CSS modules, or like we have some extension, or like maybe like style components. So that will be kind of an encapsulated thing. So it won't be linked to the components.
Okay, that is fine. So you need to add a custom CSS to a button. Okay.
Okay.
In the React application to provide visual feedback on over and click events. Describe how would you implement this?
We can make use of like maybe like some classes like maybe hover or like some active classes, so that when we click or like based upon the state that will be done.
In CSS, what changes will you make?
On CSS side, we will just we can as I told like some hover or some active classes we can add, or maybe some transition property kind of thing, so that we can animate the colors or something, or like the changes which we want.
Okay. So you're developing a web application dashboard that displays real-time data fetched from multiple APIs. Okay. Data must be updated every minute without refreshing the page. Okay. Explain how would you handle asynchronous operations to ensure the data updates smoothly and effectively.
For that, that will be basically done by the React only. We can make use of like use effect hook, or like we can wait or like sync, that all we can do. And if we have like multiple APIs, we can make use of promise all, as I told earlier.
Okay. So how to handle so take an example, you are developing an feature rich form, okay, in a React application that requires complex validations and dynamic fields. Describe your approach to manage this form, ensuring maintainability and performance.
Where we have some form, we can basically define the validation schemes, or like based upon the library, so that we can specify the validation rules. Apart from that, we can make our component to be reusable. And from the DX side, we can use the hooks for better performance, and like maybe re-render should be minimum. We can specify like conditional re-rendering. All these things can be done.
Okay. So your tasked with setting up a microservice architecture for a social media application. Okay. The application needs to dynamically discover services and balance the loads across multiple instances of each service. How would you implement service discovery and load balancing in this scenario?
We can make use of like service discovery, maybe like Eureka or something, and we can implement like dynamic thing. And for the load balancer, we can like specify the client side load balancing, or maybe like the server side load balancing. And from the cloud side, we can make use of the API gateways as well, so that it will just en route towards the appropriate service, and like proper load and authentication can be performed. And we can check the health also using our actuator.
How about load balancing?
Load balancing will be like maybe Netflix, or these things can be used, like maybe server side load balancing we can implement. So it will just get the instances, and like the request and all these things.
Okay. So in your microservice architecture, An API gateway serves as a single entry point for all the client requests, right? So you have noticed that a gateway occasionally fails under high load, okay, causing service disruptions. What strategies would you implement to improve the resilience of an API gateway?
Okay, so we can use circuit breakers. So in case of like failure, it is able to handle, or we can apply the rate limiting or these things, and we can enable caching as well, or maybe we can do like horizontal scaling so that it can be like the traffic will be like managed more properly.
Okay. So your REST API is expected to handle various types of errors gracefully. Describe your approach to handle errors, providing meaningful responses to the client.
Simple course, right? Like 400, 401 or 405 for like 500.
Okay. Accordingly, you will be getting the response and then you will be handling. Is that right?
Oh, correct, correct.
Okay. So your
And
team is
based on the
building
type
an
of error, we can give the
okay. So your team is building a REST API that needs to return large data set of user records. Okay. How would you implement this efficiently to ensure performance and scalability, considering aspects like pagination, filtering, and sorting? Large data set means it can be 1 million or 10 million.
okay. Like as you told, like as we have large data set for retrieving the data, we can make use of pagination, sorting, or like filtering. And like for writing or like for inserting, we can make use of the batch or like synchronous processing.
Yeah, I already told, right? Pagination is there. How do you do that pagination to implement that? How do you use that pagination to implement that feature to get the data?
We can, for example, like in pagination, we can make use of the like limit or offset parameters we can specify.
Mm-hmm.
Or like we can have maybe like cursor based pagination, all these things you can do.
Okay.
We can just give the data like the metadata kind of thing with the API response for pagination.
Okay.
These things can be done.
So you are implementing a form using Bootstrap. You know Bootstrap, right?
Yeah, I have idea about that.
Okay. The client requests that it should provide a real-time validation feedback to the user as they fill it out. How would you implement this using Bootstrap?
We can make use of again the JavaScript or like is valid or is invalid inputs we can pass for the validation failure or not, or we can specify like the feedback.
Okay.
Things can be done.
So you are required to implement a Bootstrap carousel. Okay. That automatically starts sliding on a page load and includes custom controls for next and previous slides. How would you implement this?
We can make use of like the components like carousel components we have for the bootstrap, or we can set the data interval like to control the slide like in how many seconds or millisecond it is just changing the slide, or from the JavaScript we can specify. This can be there.
Okay. So do you know about solid design principles?
Yeah, I have heard about that.
What are
Solid
the
principles, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it is kind of a design principles we have solid in which like each letter specify some principle. Like for example, if we have like S, it is kind of a single responsibility principle. Like one class only should be there to make the change, and it should kind of a job responsibility. And O will be like open close. I will be interface, and D will be dependency injection version principle.
Okay. You have shared your screen, right?
Correct.
Can you open your task manager once? Need to take a screenshot actually.
Task manager.
Yes. Right click in the note beside notepad, right click. Notepad you have, right? There is a notepad. Beside that, right click and task manager. Click on that.
Clicked on that.
Okay. What is that? BitTorrent. Okay, come down.
Yes, it is my downloading phase.
Okay, come down. Okay, that is fine. Close it. Okay, do you have any questions to me?
No, I don't have any question. Just like what was the process ahead or like.
Yeah, we'll be having still more rounds to process. So after that, once you are selected, you will be allocating a project accordingly.
Okay.
Anything else?
Any feedback? Any feedback you want to give or like
Yeah, I see you are
considering?
good at the programming level. But see, you have to explain in detail any topic, whatever the question asked. So you are giving a single liner. Yeah, that is good, but you have to explain in detail. Yeah, you know the understanding of the technology, but whatever you are explaining, explain in detail in the further rounds. Yeah, that will be good actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it from me. Anything else?
No, nothing from my side. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Looking forward to your reply.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.